Man, do you guys realize that this year we're gonna have the A Nightmare on Elm Street films on 4K? I mean, sometimes I think about that and it still doesn't hit me, right? Like, it's gonna happen this year. And I'm as excited as anybody. I mean, I'm ready to watch these movies one more time for the first time ever again. Because when you get a new movie, or you get a movie on a new format, it's an experience like you haven't had before. It's seeing a movie that you haven't seen in that quality before. Sometimes whether it be a director's cut or the picture quality being upscaled. It's an experience that's truly important to not only horror fans, but fans of just cinema in general. And another reason why physical media is so important. So after all this time, we've been wanting this for so long, we're gonna get A Nightmare on Elm Street 1 through New Nightmare on 4K. It's gonna be amazing. I mean, can you guys imagine it? And like I said, from the stuff I've been hearing, we're gonna get some, added gore sequences into some of these movies. I pray that comes to fruition. I keep hearing about it. I don't know if it's true, but I pray it is, because I've heard it from a number of people. So I can tell you this, guys, it's gonna be a good year. I can feel it. But before that, I thought it would be fun to go back one more time and talk about this, the A Nightmare on Elm Street Blu-ray collection. Now listen, when this came out on Blu-ray, it's easy now for us to sit here and talk about this and kind of just LOL pick at it. But let me just go back in time. When did this thing come out? I think it was 2011. Now stop and think about that for just a second. 2011. That is a lifetime ago. For me, it feels like last week. But in essence, that was, what, 13, 14 years ago? It's wild to think about. At that point, guys, I wasn't even a Blu-ray person. I really wasn't. You gotta remember, this is before Scream Factory. This is before boutique labels were really a thing at all. I mean, they kind of existed, but in terms of horror and collecting, not really till Scream Factory came out with the Halloween 2 and 3 Blu-rays did we start really thinking about collector's editions in any facet, really. Much less having box sets with big releases. Now, let's go back in time and remember this. Nightmare on Elm Street had the most glorious DVD set of all time. And when I look back and think about that, I wonder, do you guys think it was because they loved the series at that point? Or was doing multi-packs not even a thing yet? Right? Because this was 1999 when that thing came out. Were DVD multi-packs like popular at that point? I remember in 1999 DVD cases feeling like bulletproof vests. I just picked up some DVDs the other day and some of them are from the 90s. Like, as a matter of fact, I got a Texas Chainsaw Pioneer DVD. That sucker, if you put it right here and took a gunshot, you'd have a fighting chance of surviving. So I don't know that they were doing multi-packs and things like that on a big basis at that point. Regardless, I think it is also still fair to say that yes, of course, they actually cared about the series in a big way in 1999. I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street, it's not a joke. It was the house that Freddy built for New Line Cinema. But when this came out, I gotta be honest, I didn't sit and think to myself, this is it? This is what we get for A Nightmare on Elm Street? Because in reality, in 2011, when I went to FYE and I got this set, mind you, on sale, because FYE would randomly have stuff on sale that was reasonably priced, I couldn't believe it when I got this. I was so happy. Could you imagine getting A Nightmare on Elm Street on Blu-ray? And here's the thing you have to remember. We talk now about getting stuff on 4K. Well, now we're at that point where that's the reason to get something. Oh my God, they're putting such and such on 4K. Can you imagine? Well, in 2011, A Nightmare on Elm Street coming to Blu-ray, that in and of itself was jaw-dropping. I remember my friends in my hometown who knew I was a big horror fanatic were like, dude, did you see they put all the Elm Street films on Blu-ray? I saw it at FYE or I saw it at Walmart. And I would go to Walmart and get this. Here's what you guys also need to remember. You go to Walmart now, excluding situations like this Faces of Death box set, where they lasted for a couple days and apparently they're already pulling those. But at that point, I couldn't find it in Walmart. It was constantly sold out. I wouldn't be surprised if this Blu-ray box set has sold upwards of 300,000 or 400,000 copies, and I could be underselling it big time. I remembered when this came out because all my friends were telling it to me like it was discovering the Dead Sea Scrolls or something. It was a big deal. And so getting this back then, I was over the moon happy about this. Now we look at this in disgust because, of course, all the other companies like Scream Factory have come out and done these amazing Halloween box sets, Friday the 13th box sets. They did Amityville box sets. They did a number of box sets. Then Arrow Video started doing the nicest box sets. I mean, if you guys saw the Coffin Joe box set, the quality of the box is tenfold. I mean, this is just a joke compared to that now. So this thing got worse over time, I feel. But when it came out, I was over the moon. But is it still fair to say that this is a horrible Blu-ray set? Well, a funny thing, I decided, you know what, Christian, you're about to end another chapter in your life. This will no longer be the way you consistently watch the movies. So, you know what I did? I took this box set the other day and I started watching some of them while I was just kind of cleaning the house in the living room. I'd come in the hall room, take a break, and put one on right here on the couch. And the reality is, if you have a decent TV, a 4K TV, and if you've got a 4K player where you can get a little bit of upscaling, these don't really look that bad. I think what happened is we've been so used to this box set for so long because of how long we've had it. It just looks like a DVD to us now. But honestly, for a lot of people, including a lot of those people that probably bought this in 2011, they would probably say, oh, these look great, why would I need to get them again? In essence, what I want you guys to do is one more time, do me a favor, one more time, grab these box sets. I want you to take one of them and just put one of the movies on. Put on part 3, part 4, part 2, and watch these and look at the quality. They're not that bad. Now, there's things about this that as collectors we hate. Number one, the artwork. First of all, what is that logo? That is not the Nightmare on Elm Street logo that we know. All 7 original Nightmare films, and we have a shot of Freddy from part 4, I believe, from promo art, maybe part 3, but I believe that's part 4. It leaves a lot to be desired. And on the case, it's the same thing. They didn't bother to have any kind of different art, so the case is just a chunky Blu-ray case, and it's the same exact thing. And here's another thing that as collectors we despise, quite frankly, is the fact that they are a couple movies per disc. After part 1, parts 2 and 3 are on one disc, 3 and 4 are on a different disc. So that's stuff that we definitely don't like as collectors. But you know, the strangest thing, you know, I decided to go back and look at this and say, you know, I wonder if they're gonna, because here's the big thing. I get asked this a lot. Is the box set, the 4K collection, gonna have new special features? You wanna know what the reality is? Besides some commentaries, maybe new commentaries from people that might not have done them before, there's not a lot of stones left unturned. You have to remember too, there was Never Sleep Again, which came out around the same time that this Blu-ray set came out, which was the most comprehensive making of for this series that you could imagine. Basically everybody involved was a part of this, including then afterwards where Mark Patton did his documentary, Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street, where he told his real behind-the-scenes life story, which I'm sure a lot of us didn't realize. We obviously knew that Mark Patton was gay in the 80s, in the movie business, and he kind of hid who he was for a while, but I didn't realize half of the stuff. I didn't know about his personal life. There are not a lot of stones left unturned with this series. The only thing that we don't know a whole lot about is probably some of the really bad infighting. We've heard snippets, we've heard ideas about this, but even then, A Nightmare on Elm Street has been fairly well documented. Here's another thing about this box set that's actually pretty cool. Freddy's Nightmares has been something that people have been requesting for I don't know how long now. People want to own Freddy's Nightmares on DVD or even Blu-ray. I don't know that Blu-ray is a possibility, but then again, who knows what elements exists for Freddy's Nightmares. But this thing's pretty cool, and watch the 4K box set not include this. I hope it does, because they should, but if it doesn't, you're not going to want to get rid of this. Look at the back of this with me. Okay guys, look at these special features. As you can see, there is a slew of alternate takes. Look at the stuff on part 1. There's a ton of features. Disc 2 has a bunch of features. As a matter of fact, just kind of look at the back of this. It's honestly not too bad looking at the amount of features that each movie has with all the behind the scenes stuff. And a lot of this stuff is vintage, of course. Some of this stuff was from the Nightmare Encyclopedia, I believe. There's a lot of features on here. But when you go to the bottom, which is the very last disc, which I believe is a DVD, let's make sure. This is pretty cool. Okay, the bonus disc in the very back. I forgot about this. Disc 5, over 3 hours of special features, including the retrospective of Fear himself, the life and crimes of Freddy Krueger. 2 episodes. This is awesome. 2 episodes from the Freddy's Nightmares TV series. It's a Miserable Life and Killer Instinct. Welcome to Primetime Family Featurette Gallery and the Conclusions Featurette Gallery. This, from what I understand, is the only way at this moment in time to own any of the Freddy's Nightmares TV show. And which is also really weird because I've heard rumors that licensing has been a big problem as to why this series can't come out on home video. But interestingly enough, legally from the company, they have 2 episodes of Freddy's Nightmares on this Blu-ray set. That is probably reason enough for you guys to not get rid of this, not throw this out, not trade this in, because at this moment, I think people forget about that. This is the only way, as far as I know, to own some of Freddy's Nightmares. That in and of itself made me take a step back and look at this set and say, I don't think it's that bad. Now, hopefully the new set that comes out will blow it away. It's always interesting when I go back and look at something that I haven't looked at in some time and say to myself, is it as bad as I and other people are saying it is? And in actuality, in terms of features, in terms of additives, this isn't bad. Even by today's standards, some boutique labels, Scream Factory, can't even compete with something like this that has this sort of stuff with it. Granted, it's apples and oranges. This is a company that is not licensing anything out. It's putting their own material on here. But my point is, I don't think people are going to end up getting rid of this. I think when they get the new set, something from this won't be on that new 4K box set. I'd like to be wrong, but you know how these things go. So looking back at this, it kind of just made me stop and have a lot of good memories because remembering how fun this was when it came out. But it also makes me say, you know what, Christian, you can hate on it, you can say what you want to say, but at the time, this thing was fucking awesome. Now, the only thing I hope is that the memories and fun thoughts I have thinking back to when I went to go pick this up and saying, oh my God, I'm about to watch a Nightmare on Elm Street on Blu-ray, I'm gonna have that tenfold with this new 4K set. I mean, which one are you excited to watch for the first time? I mean, to me, it's gotta be The Dream Child, right? Is it gonna be uncut? I keep hearing it's gonna be uncut. Can you imagine seeing The Dream Child in 4K uncut? I can't wait. I literally can't wait. I'm gonna be sitting right here glued to the TV watching. I can't wait, guys. I'm hoping that the memories are gonna be amazing that we make, but take a step back, go in your movie rooms and just pull this out and just sit for a second and take yourself back to when this thing came out. And I guarantee you, you'll lighten up a little bit on it. Thank you guys for watching this, and hey, maybe down the road we'll be doing a video like this for that 4K set, because guess what? Time seems to fly by pretty damn fast.
Huge giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind the scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.